All right, what's up? Welcome back, everybody, to Cross Counter TV. My name is Gootecks, and it is a momentous occasion because Capcom has announced Street Fighter 6. Today, we're going to go through and watch the trailer, get some early reactions, and then we're going to talk about the other recent announcements. And then we'll talk about the current fighting game landscape, and then some things that we may have to look forward to throughout the life of Street Fighter 6. So yeah, let's get into the trailer. Oh my gosh, look at those muscles. Just glistening man meat.
All right, you ready?
Oh my god. This music is cringeworthy though. Oh my god, that's crazy. And look at the detail. It looks amazing. To my, whatever. I don't play a lot of games. So I think it looks fabulous. But yeah, let's see what other people had to say. I had some messages. They made Ryu fat. I don't know. I didn't think he looked that fat. I thought he looked good. Cock tease, yes indeed. That jawline, though, really coming together there for Josh. And maybe it is the dawn of a new day. Who knows? We shall see. But that wasn't the only announcement, if you can believe it. And, more news coming summer 2022. But the other announcement was the Capcom Fighting Collection. Let's take a look at this trailer. We only got 39 seconds on the other one. 35 years of Street Fighter. Oh my god. Oh. So I guess it's going to be all the Darkstalkers games. Which is good because, wasn't there talk of them trying to do something with the franchise, and then nothing ever materialized. So this was kind of like their last chance to do anything during this generation. So it's good that they finally were able to do that. I mean, you got to remember, this game, putting out the announcement of this game so that it can ride the coattails of Street Fighter 6 is pretty smart. It's genius. Red Earth, this never got... It only had an arcade release, and it was an obscure game at the time. So that's the first time. This is the first time it's going to have a real release. Hyper Street Fighter 2, this was the version that was going to be that was exclusive to the Nintendo Switch. I think it has like Violent Can and some other interesting things about it. Gem Fighters, people liked playing these games back in the day. I do remember that much. And this is the first time that they had a real release, where you could play online in a meaningful way. I think that just kind of goes to show that Fightcade is proving that retro is totally viable and people care and will play as long as the experience is good. So, if they're using GGPO netcode and, it's going to be on par or better than what they've been doing, then people will buy it, and this is just easy money for them, I would imagine, because I'm pretty sure, bringing these old games out and releasing them costs a tiny fraction of the budget compared to what it costs to make Street Fighter 6. But it probably makes way more money for them proportionally compared to, you know, just thinking about how much it actually costs them. So it's smart to put this out, use the 35th anniversary nostalgia factor to both drive Street Fighter 6 and use Street Fighter 6 to drive that easy, you know, drive the easy sales to Capcom Fighting Collection. Yeah. So yeah, smart stuff from them. So yeah, I guess let's talk about Street Fighter 6. I mean, you know, we don't know when it's going to come out, right? We know, you know, more Street Fighter 6 news is coming during summer of 2022. And so I guess the real question is whether or not it's going to come out this year in time for the holidays, which seems insane, but, you know, maybe it's not insane. Or maybe they just wanted to ride the 35th anniversary coattails by, you know, by announcing it this year, but it'll actually come out next year. But if they had it in any way, shape, or form playable at EVO, which seems like it should be back in the summer, then that would be amazing timing. And what an incentive, what a draw to bring people back to the first in-person EVO in 2 years, right? You know, post-pandemic, right? That would definitely get people to show up, I think. But who knows how far along the game really is? I mean, do they really only have this 39 seconds, or do they have far more of it built, right? I remember there was this rumor either last year or the year before, who knows, and was talking about how, you know, Street Fighter 6 existed, but it had already gotten scrapped because the people that they showed it to, or the testers or whatever, like they hated it. So, you know, who knows? Is this the, you know, who knows how far along it really is, right? I have no inside info, that's for sure. But it seems like in order to really make an impact, you know, next year is going to be the absolute latest, right? So, you know, it's kind of the end of the cycle of the current generation. And so, you know, we're seeing the other games that have come out more recently kind of, you know, put the final polish on this current generation of fighting games, right? You know, we just had, you know, KOF 15 come out, and you can see there's a lot of people that are playing this game, or that are streaming it and playing it. And it's, you know, it's international. So it has a lot of momentum. You know, Strive also has a lot of momentum. So Street Fighter 6, if it doesn't come out, you know, if it gets delayed or something for a super long time, there, you know, it's going to be, like the landscape isn't going to be as hot, right? Because, you know, they're kind of, hopefully they can ride some of the momentum of the, you know, of KOF and Guilty Gear and, you know, events coming back. But yeah, and then, you know, thinking about the lifespan of that game, of Street Fighter 6, right? We're talking 5 to 7 years, right? So that would kind of put us in the 2029 range, you know, somewhere around there, maybe, I guess, towards the end of that life cycle. And we're going to see the rise of a new generation of players, right? We're going to have some of the FGC's first second generation superstars starting to play, right? You have Maximilian's daughter and Justin Wong's daughter. You know, I know Alex Vai's got a daughter too. So, you know, when these kids are 8, 9 years old, that'll, you know, like there's definitely players that have started competing at that young age. You know, Justin Wong, Kayane are two that come to mind. So imagine, being taught at such an early, being trained at an early age, so towards the end of Street Fighter 6's life cycle, we will be seeing the beginning of the next generation's life cycle. And in the meantime, we're going to have our KOF and Guilty Gear. I'm personally, I think both of them look great. A lot of people are trying to hate on KOF, but I think it looks really good. But that's just my own biases, I guess you could call them. And but who can forget? Of course, we can't forget about Project L, which is still looming on the horizon. Riot's fighting game that's being developed by Evo founders, the Cannon Brothers. They put out a sneak preview of their game several months ago, and who knows if Street Fighter 6 comes out first, which I guess I would expect it to, or if they come out at the same time. Oh my God, that would definitely do a lot to grow the scene. And I think that's what is really needed right now. After 2 years of, no offline events, it's going to be good to have fresh, new games and, fresh rivalries, etc. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I really hope they don't screw everything up, but I don't think they will. I hope I didn't jinx it. But yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this, and we'll keep an eye on things and see how things unfold. Hit the like button and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get notified of new stuff. All right, thanks for watching. Later.